There are so many neurons in the brain and so many connections that there is actually competition for the neurons to get the electricity in the first place. The brain forms pathways of neurons, down which the electricity finds it easier to flow. Remember the axon? Well, the axon makes connections to lots of different neurons, so the electricity could go along lots of different pathways, and where it does go depends on where it has come from. The first time you do something or learn something, a brand new pathway is formed. At first, this pathway is barely noticeable. It's just a little track. And over time, the track can be lost in amongst all the other tracks. But if you come back and travel down the pathway frequently, it becomes like a road, then a major road, and eventually like a motorway. It's as if each journey along the pathway lays down a bit more tarmac and makes the road last a bit longer. You need to make sure you maintain these pathways in your brain though. If you don't use a pathway for some time, it gets potholed and overgrown. Remember, each time you travel along it, you add more tarmac, which keeps the road in good condition. If you leave it for a while, it gets much more difficult to walk along. So if you want to make sure you remember something for a long time, you have to keep coming back to it to keep that pathway open. If you want to build a good road, you need lots of thin layers on top of one another, rather than one big layer. After all, if that one big layer gets damaged, the whole road is damaged. It's the same for your brain. It's better to travel down a pathway once a day for 5 days, because you have built a much longer lasting memory than if you travelled it 5 times in one day. Don't try to cram it all into one day. Spread out your learning, and the pathway you build will be much stronger.